show up in H&M, a familiar song transports you to the summer of 2016, the scent of sea salt filling your nose as the wind whips your hair in the backseat. Or maybe the radio blasts while you're driving to school and suddenly you're in the Caribbean again, the sweetness of shaved coconut melting on your tongue as you gaze at the impossibly blue ocean in front of you. What song paints that vivid mental picture? Is it Billie Jean by Michael Jackson? Claire de Lune by Debussy? Or perhaps it's Baby by Justin Bieber? Regardless of your choice, one thing is clear. Music holds a special place in our hearts. Music is my first love. Since the tender age of 5, I've been playing the piano and belting songs in my room, even with no one listening. I spent late nights, far past my bedtime, captivated by what I deemed the work of old musicians. Bessie Smith, Beethoven, and even Whitney Houston. Two questions always lingered in the far corner of my mind. Why did this music differ so much from today's Billboard Hot 100, like Taylor Swift and Ed Sheeran? And why did we make such a big deal out of music? The answers are much more complex than you may think. Music, the universal language, is the heartbeat of the soul, the vessel of passion, love, and everything we stay alive for. These profound attributes render music impactful in our personal lives and on an expansive scale. Its abilities to shape culture, redefine social norms, and contribute to physical and mental healing is a testament to the extraordinary power that resonates within every note and melody. Today, we will unravel music's impact in society and the complexities of its narrative, which captures not just moments in time, but the essence of our shared human experience. Initially, I wanted to start this speech off by sharing with you the extensive history of music. However, throughout my research, I realized that the concept of music is so vague that its history cannot be accurately defined. So, let's travel back in time. Our first stop is the Paleolithic period, which started and ended approximately 2.5 million and 12,000 years ago, respectively. In this era, our ancestors used clay drums, whistles, and bell flutes to produce primitive music. Let's fast forward to the Mesolithic period, which homes to Homo sapiens crafted many stringed instruments, the musical bow being the most significant of them all. Our next stop is the Neolithic period, where our ancestors used many instruments such as skin drums and shell trumpets. Do you see the pattern here? All of this history isn't specifically about music. It's about instruments. How can we be sure that some pieces of perforated bone archaeologists found were used as flutes by our ancestors? What if they were tools our ancestors used to probe for small edible organisms? What if they were used as straws? How were pipes even invented? Did someone watch the wind whistle over the top of a broken reed and try to emulate the same sound with their breath? Did they eventually realize that a shorter tube produced a higher pitch and a longer tube produced a lower one? We can only speculate, but we can never be truly certain about the past we did not live in. I could go on and on and on about all the different instruments used throughout history, but it wouldn't fully encapsulate the history of music, or what it even is. Music is as elusive as existence itself. It always has been, always is, and always will be. It doesn't even have a clear definition. According to many dictionaries, music is pleasing sound, meaningful sound, a group of sounds, and a variety of tonal structures. But what meaningful sound is to me might not be meaningful sound to you. What is a pleasing sound to me might not be a pleasing sound to you. Music is objective and subjective and either and neither. Music can be anything and nothing, yet everything at the same time. Though music has an enigmatic origin, its undeniable evolution continually shapes and reflects history. Music acts like a time capsule. It often mirrors moments in the past. Just listen to We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel, and you will relive the historical events of the 20th century, the Cold War, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Civil Rights Movement. Play Happy Birthday, Mr. President by Marilyn Monroe, and you will be reminded of the late movie star's scandalous, yet alleged, romance with John F. Kennedy, the tragic overdose on Monroe, and the assassination of Kennedy that shook the world. Even pop music reflects integral moments of our culture. Stuck With You by Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande gives us flashbacks to quarantine in 2020 when the world went to a standstill and we had the time to do whatever you wanted. One of the greatest manifestations of music's ability to shape and reflect culture is fashion. Music and fashion go hand in hand 99% of the time. In fact, the best way to see how the expression of music has evolved is by looking at the fashion of the times. When I was around 10 or 11 years old, I learned about flappers, women who wore short dresses with loose clothing which gave them the freedom to dance the night away. What shocked me is that they were influenced by jazz music. Jazz music may have a lost reputation now, but in the 1920s, it was completely scandalous as it was the first form of music played exclusively at nightclubs. Yet, jazz music provided women an outlet for rebellion, changing the way women behaved and dressed, and propelling the women's liberation movement in Canada and the United States. Despite the impact music in the 1920s had on flapper fashion, teens were mainly ignored in the fashion industries. Many clothes only catered to adults. However, this all changed in the 1950s. With the advent of television and movies, music became much more accessible to the public. The skyrocketing popularity of movie stars and rock and roll artists such as Elvis Presley allowed teenagers to eagerly assemble the favorite fashion their idols wore, both in day-to-day life and at concerts with jam-packed venues. The teen market grew to the point where fashion designers couldn't even ignore it. And so, along with the birth of the teenager, the teenage fashion industry was born, all in response to music. In the 1970s, the punk music scene grew quickly, characterized by its aggressive rock music and scream singing. People who joined the punk scene were often fans of bands like Queen and had a more alternative look, showcasing leather jackets with silver lettering, brightly colored hair, and tons of piercings. Then we have the 1990s and early 2000s when hip-hop culture, along with street style, was born on the streets of urban neighborhoods like New York, Los Angeles, and Toronto. The birth of teen pop was also manifested in Britney Spears' rise to fame with hit singles such as Baby One More Time, Oops, I Did It Again, Y2K fashion, the widespread purchasing of tabloids, and the increasing viewership of award shows such as Teen Choice Awards and the MTV Video Music Awards. It may be hard to grasp at first, but once you think about it, and I mean really think about it, it's really easy to see just how integral music is to life as we know it. It pervades every part of our existence. It's present in spiritual ceremonies, educational facilities, and malls and restaurants where we spend our free time. But music's power isn't just limited to places we go, fashion trends, or cultural events. It has also been shown to have multiple health benefits. Because music almost literally taps into our memories, subconscious thoughts, emotions, and interests, being exposed to its beauty, rhythm, and harmony significantly influences how we feel. That's why listening to Olivia Rodrigo can make you feel like you're reliving your first breakup again, and playing Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA makes you want to dance like there's no tomorrow. Because it greatly influences the human mind, music has the powerful ability to be used as a healing tool in a variety of ways. Brain scans have shown that when we listen to or perform music, nearly all brain regions activate simultaneously. Music therapy, for example, is a clinical practice utilized to improve attention and memory. In fact, it is shown to have a positive effect on those suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. In 2013, researchers at Beth Israel Medical Center for Music and Medicine conducted a study on the effects of music on the human brain. They examined the effects of 3 types of music on the brain activity of an infant and its parents: a lullaby selected and sung by the parents, a gado disc, an ocean disc, a round instrument which mimics the sounds of the womb, and a gado drum, a drum-like instrument which sounds like 2-tone heartbeat rhythms. After the parents sang their baby a lullaby and the certified music therapist played the instruments, researchers discovered that the gado box, the ocean disc, and the singing all slowed the baby's heart rate, though the singing proved to be the most effective. The syncing also helped the baby stay quietly alert while sucking behavior improved most with the Gato box. The music therapy also lowered the parents' stress. And that's not all, there's more. 2 researchers at McGill University in Montreal found that music improves the body's immune system function. Playing and listening to music increases the body's production of the antibody immunoglobulin A and natural killer cells, cells that attack invading viruses and boost the immune system's effectiveness. Music also works to reduce cortisol levels. If it wasn't clear before, it's definitely clear now that music has the powerful ability to enhance your quality of life and promote recovery. Moving forward, it can be used for health innovations. As we discover more about the body through studies like neuroscience, it will only increase music's medicinal power, further benefiting mankind's health on a global scale. Now, let's go back to that moment in my 8-year-old self's bedroom, late at night, hunched over the computer with the blankets covering my head, where I asked myself 2 questions. What the big deal was about music, and why yesterday's music differed so much from today's. Today, we certainly answer the first. Music is a reflection of our culture, often influencing us in ways we cannot fathom and shaping the world in which we exist. It also possesses immense healing properties, lowering stress and improving attention and memory. But the second question remains unanswered. Why is modern music so different from the music of the past? Was it the technological advances we had made since the eras of Baroque, classical, and Romantic music? Was it the differences in how we produce music? After hours and hours of thinking this over, I realized that though all the above is true, music hasn't really changed. Music has, but music hasn't. The way music has been expressed has been changed, but music at its core hasn't. Let me explain. The natural consequence of our human consciousness is wonder, which causes questions to arise about our existence. Who am I? Why am I here? What is this here that I'm experiencing? Who are the others in my midst, and what is my relationship with them? What is my relationship with the world in which I exist? What is the purpose of all this? For mankind to manifest its nature, certain outward expressions have to be made, one of these being music. The expression of human consciousness has always been, at base, artistic. It's our way of showing what it means to be human, to hear and to move and to feel and to make sounds for the delight of ourselves and those around us. No matter what period of time in which humans exist, one thing is certain. We respond to music's pulse, the ebb and flow of its melody, harmony, color, and so on. With all the overlay of civilization and its increasing technologies, we are still subject to the fundamental properties of music. Its healing properties, its influential properties, its unforgettable properties. We are of the same material as the stars. The stars hold magic. That magic is in us. That magic is expressed in music. Music in us. Music, something that always has been and always will be a force that changes the world. Thank you.